just a lot of breaking news coming in at this hour, and this one is from the NIA, who has now sought custody of Sachin Waze. Now, it has told court that 62 unaccounted bullets were found in Sachin Waze's house, 25 bullets missing from service revolver as well, and only 5 found, and also that they have taken blood samples as well. What exactly does this mean when it comes to the overall picture of this case? Let's try and get a word from Saurabh Gupta now joining us for the very latest. Saurabh, put this information, these fresh details in context for us.
Well, you know, the NIA is seeking more custody of Sachin Waze, and Sachin Waze is present at this court where I am right now. He's being produced before a special NIA court, and his lawyer is arguing that the application of the stringent anti-terror law, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UAPA, does not hold. And that does not hold because, you know, along with gelatin sticks, there are no detonators. So this is not explosives. This is simply something that can be used to make an explosive or a bomb. That's one thing. Meanwhile, the NIA is telling the court that, you know, there are unaccounted for bullets, both from the service revolvers of Sachin Waze, for which there are 25 bullets, and also they found other bullets which are unaccounted for. They've also taken blood samples, you know, and all the seizures that they've made. But, you know, there are arguments going on at this point between the defense counsel, and Sachin Waze is being represented by a well-known criminal lawyer, Abad Ponda, and also you know, the NIA is at this point seeking custody after applying the UAPA, which is the anti-terror law, the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act against Sachin Waze. It remains to be seen who will actually, you know, or which way the court decides. Likely that Sachin Waze will be sent to NIA custody, given that NIA, you know, the UAPA cases or the terror cases, anti-terror cases, it is very difficult to get bail. So that's what's happening at this point in the special NIA court in Mumbai at this point. Sachin Waze, meanwhile, has also been seen in CCTV footage, something that we reported earlier. But we didn't have the footage at that time. Now that footage has also emerged where Sachin Waze is seen, I beg your pardon, Mansukh Hiren, the man who owned that Scorpio car in which you know, the gelatin sticks were found outside the Ambani residence. Mansukh Hiren is seen getting into a black Mercedes car which the NIA says was being used by Sachin Waze, and you know, so obviously establishing that Mansukh Hiren and Sachin Waze met on the very same day that Mansukh Hiren reported his Scorpio car missing. So obviously a lot of, you know, evidence at this point is to be evaluated, and it will have to stand the scrutiny of the law. But at this point it seems that the NIA is seeking more custody for Sachin Waze after actually booking him under the anti-terror law, something that his lawyer is arguing against, challenging its application in this current context.
Right. Saurabh, can I ask you this though, that as we get to know bits and pieces about this case, the larger story somehow still very unclear into what happened exactly and why. Have your sources told you a little about what exactly is the reason why this car was actually found? There is so much unknown about this story.
Absolutely, you know, the motive still remains unclear, and you know, given the revelations that have come into this case and the kind of manner in which Sachin Waze seems to have left behind a trail of evidence, what his motive was, or what was the motive behind planting those explosives there, what could be, you know, the reason that something was done, at whose instruction was this done, did he keep his seniors in the loop? Was Mr. Parambir Singh, the Commissioner of Police then at that time, who's now been removed and who's also challenged his removal, aware of his activities? There are also talks of several meetings between Parambir Singh and Sachin Waze. What happened in those meetings? These are all unanswered questions at this point, and frankly, no one's willing to, you know, stick their neck out and make any comment on that at this point. But clearly, the view that seems to be emerging at this point, at least you know, off the record, is that Sachin Waze may have acted on his own but clearly there are more sort of, unanswered questions. And as we have this evidence, as we have more information coming up, that basic question, what was the motive, why did he do it, on whose instructions, and why would he do something like that in the first place, is still unclear to most people, and that information is clearly not there in the public domain yet.